Hey guys, welcome back to Uncle Fresh Reef. Got an update for you today. So if any of you have been following my videos, you'll notice right here that there is something missing. And why is there two bulkheads that are going through my sump? Well, the answer to the bulkheads were, this is where my Refugium used to be. And so I had to remove it and discontinue my GFO in the reactor because of no nitrates, no phosphates, and all my soft corals suffering greatly. So with the chaeto and the macroalgae just not wanting to grow, I had to do something. So I went ahead and removed it and started getting ready to cap this off, and went to bed, and about 1 o'clock in the morning I get an alarm. My Tunzi ATO water top off alarm had gone off. The white switch where the water rises was going off and woke me and the rest of the family up. And what had happened is my Jebao DCP-8000 pump had failed, and I mean it failed in a bad way. So I always keep spares of everything. I had a Jebao, I think it was a 6000, I don't have it handy right now, but it was the older blue body style, and that is what I used as a backup. I had it plumbed right here for replacement if ever necessary. Well, guess what? It failed. So I started thinking that how could both of them fail? It had to be an electrical problem. So you'll notice here that I'm missing the controller. Turns out it wasn't the controller, it wasn't the pump. As a matter of fact, I don't know what it is. I tried swapping out all the different electronic components, even the controller for the DC-3000 that powers my skimmer here. None of it was working. I couldn't get any of those return pumps to fire up. This is all going on in the middle of the night, and I am absolutely exhausted. So luckily I had a third pump. This mag pump is what I think it is. Actually, I acquired this through some trades, and it was just part of some stuff that came in a box. And so I was able to figure out how to plumb it up in the middle of the night and get this thing back working. So I have since ordered a new pump. I've got the newer Jebao pump. Okay, so before I go ahead and install this, I thought I'd show you all the different components here real quick. This is the Jebao new style in 2017 DCP-8000, and it has the new SINE wave technology, ultra quiet operation, high performance, and innovative electronic motor. I've used the Jebaos for quite a while now, haven't had any problems up till now, and this is the third version of it. So I know you guys all remember the blue bodied DC versions of the Jebao pump. Those were rock solid. I never had any issues with them. They went to the DCT, and now this is the DCP. So it has the black body, and the DCT version that was prior to this actually had a silver body. So you never see it in there, but my DC-3000 that powers that is actually the old style blue body. So I thought I'd show you what this looks like before it gets slammed into the sump. Okay, well, I thought I was going to go ahead and show you guys this installed, but ran into another problem. This is the fitting that went on the DCT version of it. I thought I'd tell you guys that if you're swapping out your Jebao pumps and you've hard plumbed it, I made this myself using 3/4 inch tubing, and used some epoxy and the fitting that they supply, and just kind of put it together. Does not fit. So bummer. Had to take this off, and guess who had to use another fitting on here. So this is the new style fitting. It's much wider, so if you upgrade your Jebao pump and you have it hard plumbed, get ready, you'll need to make an adapter or use this new 3/4 inch line. So they actually give you it for the hard tube line here. So instead of the barb fitting, which this is actually a barb fitting. So I just crammed in the 3/4 inch tube and then epoxied it. So this actually worked out kind of nice. Okay guys, got everything installed. I got my original line put back in with the check valve, and there's the new pump. Looks a lot like the old one, just with the larger flange there for the return, and it is incredibly quiet. This is easily the most quiet out of the two predecessors, the DC and the DCT. So far this is working pretty good. So this is the controller. So you hit this button and it controls it up and down. The P is for power, so currently it is using 27 watts, and I have it set at 50. Okay, this is the actual flow, and it starts at 30 and it goes all the way to 100. So I have right now just 50, and by the look of the corals, this matches what I had. So I always use the green star polyps here as a kind of a test to see how much flow is actually happening, and it seems to be right where it was. So 50 is the number that I'm going to stay with for right now. And in the sump, it is back to the correct level. So all things seem to be back to normal. 50 seems to be the correct number, which leaves me a lot of power to go up if I so choose. So I don't think it's necessary in this particular aquarium, but the DCP-8000 is definitely very powerful. Okay, so let's go ahead and test it and see if my check valves are going to do their job. Alright, well, okay, so we put it in feed mode. I have 2 check valves on this now, so the sump should not fill all the way up with water like it did at 1 a.m. in the morning and when I had my Refugium on. Because what happened is the Refugium used this outlet right here for flow coming off the manifold, since been removed. So what would happen is when it came back from the return at the tank, it would bypass this check valve, come through here, and then back into the sump area. So it is a lot less water than I had when I had the Refugium. So wish I could keep it a little lower, but it seems to be as good as I'm going to get it. Future plans are to replace these bulkheads and epoxy in a cover, so these are going to go. Okay, let's turn the pump back on, see what happens. Okay, back on. Okay, you see the valve opening. Alright, everything seems to be going. Let's I'll show you that other check valve that I installed on the top of the return line. Hold on. The idea was to limit the amount of water and any siphoning that came out. I got burned because the check valve down at the return pump allowed it to bypass, so it still created a siphon. Well, I've since fixed that by adding a second check valve here. I guess you can't have too many check valves, especially when you have a pump as powerful as this one. Okay, everything is installed. I've rerouted all the wires and mounted the controller with all my other controllers and my reef keeper. Everything's somewhat back to normal. I removed the bulb that I was using for my Refugium. I'll have to take that down. I don't ever plan on using a Refugium on this again. If I do anything at all, it's going to be a Jebao reactor. But this video is getting long. I wanted to give you guys a quick update on the equipment. I'll do another update probably today on the fish and coral, which are doing pretty good with the exception of some acans. But let's go ahead and end this here. Again, this is Uncle Fresh Reef Please like, comment, subscribe. I'd like to hear your feedback on this new Jebao pump install. See how you guys are doing it, or if you have any thoughts on the install. Take it easy.